Steve, Ryan Day hit the podium. The two things that stood out to me, number one, he just wanted to be emphatic. And I don't know the questions that were asked. I'm responding to his responses, emphatic about we are not looking past Minnesota, and it's going to be a really tough game. Number two, man, there's still a lot of pieces left to be filled out here, or at least according to what you know, there are a lot of pieces that left to be filled in the blank, and some uncertainty. Again, we're either figuring things out still to the last hour, or you're going to have to figure it out because we know, but we don't want PJ Fleck to know.
Yeah, I thought that he was very accommodating with the media on Monday, but he didn't seem to have any concrete answers to a lot of pertinent questions, which included who's going to start at running back. Is DeJuan Jones going to start at right tackle, which we think he is? It sounds like Master Teague or Mayan Williams will start at running back. Didn't get a clear, definitive decision on that. He made it sound like Travion Henderson will fill in as the game goes on, the true freshman. Didn't even really commit to how many true freshmen might play. Was asked about that. Believes Jack Sawyer probably is in the running there, and Marvin Harrison obviously at wide receiver, and Emeka Buka, and Travion Henderson, of course. But didn't really give you a whole lot there. So in the linebacker group, we know Taraja Mitchell is set, but wouldn't tell you who the other two starters were going to be. And I don't think anybody even brought up Cameron Brown in the cornerback position if he's going to be available and ready to start. And he did mention that Ryan Watts and Lejon Cavazos, a couple of younger corners, will be playing in some regard, in some fashion. But a lot of questions and not a lot of answers I didn't really get out of Coach Day from the event on Monday. Tony, you were there too, and maybe you have your 2 cents on what you saw and heard as well.
And we didn't even get into the kickers because they've got 2 kickers and they're not sure what they've got there yet. Yeah, the best news I think for Ohio State that came from this is that the linebackers have gotten healthy over the last week, and so they're at least everybody is available to play. Because Steve, when we were there to watch the entire practice a week and a half or so ago, they had a walk-on playing middle linebacker because their 3 middle linebackers, their top 3 middle linebackers, were all hurt, and so now those guys are all back. So I'll be interested to see how much Cody Simon plays, how much Dallas Gant plays. Tommy Eichenberg has received a lot of attention and some good words. How much are those 3 going to play? Because like you said, it's Taraji Mitchell and who knows what else. And so I'm interested to see how that goes. Corners, how many corners are going to play? And I'm not saying there's going to be a bunch that play because they like everybody. I'm saying there might be more than 2 that play simply because they're trying to figure out exactly what they have. Now, it seems like Cam Brown has been okay and is healthy, and so I'm expecting Ryan Watts and Cam Brown, but as Steve said, we didn't get any confirmation on that, and I'm just looking forward to having some answers finally, because you can only get so many from a coach. Nicholas Petit-Frere did say he expects to start at left tackle, so that would mean DeJuan Jones at right tackle. Thayer Munford has gotten healthy enough to practice, so it sounds like he will be at left guard because Ryan Day said he would be available. So when Ryan Day says somebody's available, that means they're going to play, so we assume that he'll start there at left guard instead of Matt Jones. So we'll get to see that new Ohio State offensive line. Let's see how it performs. They're going to need it. There might be some rain in the forecast. They might need to rely on their running game with Master Teague and Mayan Williams. And one last thing on Travion Henderson, while Ryan Day said they will rely on the veterans who have played in games, veterans being Mayan Williams and Master Teague, Marcus Crowley, those sorts who have played in games, he did say Travion Henderson would get into the action quickly. Now, what does that mean? Is that first quarter? Is that second quarter? It'd probably be more surprising if he's in the first quarter than the second quarter, but I think we'll see him in the first half.
And as It's Just Me Tim 79 says, maybe they'll use this opportunity to audition the kickers under real live conditions.
I think what you'll see is a short kicker and a long kicker, and whoever was the most consistent in camp will be that short kicker. They don't really need a long kicker because they would only need it for end of half, end of game situations. They're not going to kick 52-yarders in the first quarter. They're either going to go for it or punt at that point. They're not going to try to, they'd rather be aggressive in that situation. Now, if it's like 4th and 13 from the 34, yeah, they'll probably go ahead and attempt a field goal. But I wouldn't be surprised if Ruggles is the short guy and Jake Seibert is the long guy, because Ruggles has more experience, Steve. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about that. I don't think that this game's going to come down to a field goal one way or the other, and they may not have a game all season that comes down to a field goal one way or the other. And that take that however you will, but I think that it's going to work out one way or the other. To have two kickers, Ruggles with experience from North Carolina is good. And Seibert got some experience last year, kicked a field goal against Alabama, although it was a short one in that national championship game. So they've got, a couple of options there. Jesse Mirko will be under the microscope as the punter because he's never punted in a live college football game before, and we'll get a feel for what that looks like as well.